The Monday night games wrapped up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. A nice one that went into overtime. We're going to go over the buy, sells, holds, and trades from this game for fantasy football. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. Tomorrow, we're going deep on the waiver wire, talking about wide receivers, running backs. We're doing deep dives on the trending players all week long on as many players as possible. So when news hits, we will be here breaking down that player with advanced analytics. We're using these videos to help you set your lineups and everything else. Click that button, stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. Starting off with the box score here, 30-24, and the Chiefs win it in overtime. Kareem Hunt gets the touchdown, 106 yards and a touchdown right there. Getting it done in fantasy. We were getting the rushing attempts, especially in the back half of the game. He was getting the workload, grinding it between the tackles in the rain. Starting off, it was a little bit slow for the rushing attack for both teams, but Kareem Hunt just kept grinding it, eating up the yards. He was over 4 yards per carry during the middle of the game. Slowed down because he was getting a lot of work, though. Also, that goal line touch, but still, we got it done. That's all that matters. He got it done for his team. He got it done for your fantasy team. You can't complain about that. Samaje Perine caught a touchdown, so he got you a little bit of fantasy production. Travis Kelce, this was an easy call because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers give up fantasy points to stud tight ends. We got 10 in yardage, 14 points in catches, so that's 24 PPR fantasy points right there. And the story here is DeAndre Hopkins. He's back, guys. He's an elite talent. If he keeps pushing it, he should be a Hall of Famer. Should be. 8 catches, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This guy does nothing but get it done. Good ball skills. Had that nasty catch downfield. Doesn't surprise you at all that he's hitting right now in a game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Justin Watson got you about 7 fantasy points. Mecole Hardman got a little bit of run, but that's really about it. And what we're going to see from this Chiefs offense going forward is a lot of DeAndre Hopkins. Xavier Worthy, like I said, you hate to start him, you hate to bench him, but honestly, there's 2 things that you want to happen. Either Xavier Worthy steps up and becomes the man, or a guy like DeAndre Hopkins steps up with Travis Kelce and just takes over the workload, and you don't have to worry about starting Xavier Worthy anymore. I think that's where we're headed. Xavier Worthy's a boom-bust play every week that you gamble on, and you just got to make that play if your balls are telling you to do so, and if whatever happens, happens. But honestly, he's not really like a guaranteed start or anything. He's just a gamble every week due to that speed, due to the situation he's in, getting targets. But that might not be a thing anymore if DeAndre Hopkins keeps getting this workload. That is something we're going to see. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be the man in this offense. Cade Otton had himself a day. Again, tight ends do well against the Chiefs because they lock down the wide receivers. They lock down the running game. That's what we saw here. The wide receivers were locked down. The best wide receiver had 48 yards in this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's Sterling Shepard. 4 catches, 48 yards. Trey Palmer, 2 catches, 33 yards. Not surprised. This team locks down wide receivers, and you got to get creative to move the football. That was the big thing. The big thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is that they had to get up early, had to push the pace at least early and be creative and hit with that creativeness. And how we saw it was Cade Otton, and then getting it done in the passing game with the running backs, and maybe with one of those ancillary wide receivers. We did not know at the time if Shepard or McMillan would be in because that video was shot early in the morning, but maybe Raheem Jarrett, maybe Shepard, maybe one of those ancillary wide receivers getting it done. We really did not get it done in the passing game. We could not get it done, and it happened. Cade Otton was the shining star of the passing game for the Bucs. Of course, getting that work. You're starting him every week. The run game here. Bucky Irvin, 24 yards. Sterling Shepard outrushes Rachaad White and Sean Tucker. 3 carries apiece for them, 7 carries for Bucky Irving. You're looking at Bucky Irving catching 3 balls. Sean Tucker got 1 catch, and Rachaad White caught 3 balls. The running backs did you dirty this week, and It happens, and there was a 50-50 shot for that. Like we said, it was a 50-50 shot. They needed to get these running backs rolling in the passing game for them to hit. If they're not doing that, it ain't going to happen. It didn't happen because we knew they were not going to be able to run on the Chiefs unless they accidentally busted one out. They did not accidentally bust one out. Going into the second half, Baker Mayfield had like 59 passing yards. We ended up with 200, which in 2024, this weird year, that's an okay amount. Most years, that's not an okay amount. Patrick Mahomes got you 291 and 3 touchdowns, 44 passing attempts versus 31 in the rain. That's good work in the rain to look at. Going to the advanced analytics here, when we're looking at the routes ran, Cade Otton and Raheem Jarrett led the Bucs in routes ran, and this info might not be 100% correct because I noted on Twitter that Sterling Shepard at the time had 4 balls for 47 yards, but they only had him accounted for 1 catch, and that was just a few minutes ago. Maybe they fixed it up, but I kept refreshing multiple times, and it was like that for almost an hour, just sitting that way. Now I'm sitting there watching Shepard just bringing catch after catch. This might be off a little bit. Raheem Jarrett and Cade Otton, they were killing it on the routes ran. Ryan Miller and then Sterling Shepard over Palmer. Makes sense. Palmer you have on the edge getting the deep balls. And then Rachaad White got a little bit more routes than Bucky Irving. We're looking at the ADOTs here. Who was getting it downfield for the Bucs? Trey Palmer. He's your deep threat. He's your 4-3 guy. Sterling Shepard got a little bit downfield as well. And then, of course, Cade Otton is going to be around the line of scrimmage for the tight end spot. Going over to the Chiefs here, and then looking at the ADOT, Justin Watson is your deep threat. He's the guy you're going to want to toss it up to. He's got that 4-3 speed. He's got that length. Xavier Worthy getting pushed downfield a little bit, which he should. He's got that 4-2 speed. And you got DeAndre Hopkins living around the 10 territory of the average depth of target, which is nice. He was getting targets deep downfield as well. He was getting those opportunities. Who was rocking in the slot? Travis Kelce had 20 reps in the slot. Xavier Worthy had 16. Hopkins was in the slot. He's getting moved around. That's something good to see there. When you're looking at the routes ran, Kelce ran 42. Worthy ran 36 routes and saw just a few targets, right? Just 3 targets on 36 routes. That's a bad rate. DeAndre Hopkins ran 33 routes and got the work, got the money. We noted all they really had at wide receiver was Worthy and Hopkins. Something had to give there. It gave the Hopkins. It gave the Hopkins. That being said, we're going over to the rushing attack here. Yards after contact per attempt here. Sean Tucker led the way, 3.50. Bucky Irving, 2.29. Rachaad White, 1.33. And the 10-plus yard runs went from Sterling Shepard and Baker Mayfield, not to the running backs. And it was 15-plus yarder for Sterling Shepard. Not much to really note here for the running backs here. Outside of the receptions, you're not going to count Sterling in this, but receptions, 3 for White, 3 for Bucky, which we noted earlier. Going over to the Chiefs side, and we're looking at the yards after contact here. Kareem Hunt, 2.76. Samaje Perine, 2 here. And we had 2 carries of 10-plus yards for Kareem Hunt. Looking solid. He got you 6 first downs. That's good. He had a good game. Started off a little bit slow. Wasn't that great in the beginning. He was just being Kareem Hunt. This was a tough game. And then we just started grinding. We started siphoning off that defense, and we started pushing it downfield. The trustiness of Kareem Hunt, the power, the veteran leadership came in. His longest run was 15 yards. It was all looking good. The thing is here, the story is DeAndre Hopkins going off. Xavier Worthy is down to Shitsville. And Kareem Hunt keeping it steady until we get Isaiah Pacheco back. Let me know what you think in comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.